And we go live. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Shout out to Asser and Odetta. Thank you for being the first one in this morning. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra, special, big up, shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay-at-home moms and pops, my retirees. Shout out to the drivers, the Uber driver, Lyft driver, truck driver, taxi driver, food delivery drivers, round town and long distance truck drivers. Shout out to the drivers, period. The garbage truck driver, the train driver. Shout out to law enforcement personnel. Shout out to medical field personnel. Shout out to just every single person out there up and out to get it this morning, whatever your profession is. Manners and respect to you. Shout out to all the good, clean-hearted people who wants good for others as much as you want good for yourself. You're a good person. Shout out to you. Welcome back to Morning Thoughts again, everybody. It is your host with the most. I am here in person, and I wasn't here yesterday, but, I have an explanation. Like when you miss school, yeah, and the teacher says, send him back with a note or he will not be accepted. Well, I'm back in class today, and the note is here. So hopefully I'll be accepted. Big up to everybody tuning in. Shout out to Rosalind Smichael, Mr. Article, Don, Mervin The Point, Jamaica, Kerr, Onika, St. John, Jones, Great Goodies. Shout out to Faith Shepherd, Michelle Howell, Kaitai Jai, Empress is in the building. Perlis123 is with us this morning. Brummel Wrights in the building this morning. Thank you for being here. BM, Karen Mason is here this morning. Miss Goldie Robinson is in the building this morning. Shout out to Senior Sexy. Shout out to every single person tuning in this morning. Look, Rasta Caribbean, big up yourself and thank you for being with us. The lines are open. Feel free to call in whenever. So yesterday I didn't come on because they switched up my dental appointment and I got an earlier date. And I didn't see it until it was too late. And I had to be there by 10 a.m. in the morning, and it was an hour and a half drive away from my house. So I couldn't do a morning thoughts, else I wouldn't have made it, right? Remember I told y'all, I said, I'm going to be fixing up myself, and I encourage you to do the same, like some self-maintenance. Us grown people who have responsibilities, we tend to get caught up in the 9 to 5 and the 5 to 9 and how the bills are paid. And if the car went to the mechanic and it's maintained, but we don't stop and think about our bodies, right? With our eyes, our teeth, our inner health, that kind of stuff. Get a full checkup, get a blood work, see what's going on with your body, these kind of things. I encourage people to do these things, right? I especially encourage my brothers to do your colon cancer check and these kinds of things. So the dental part is one of it. As everybody know, I already had 2 surgeries, one on each eye, to remove what's called pterygiums from my eyes. People used to say, SouFlo, what happened to your eyes? You have cataracts? Or why is that thing growing on the pupil area of your eye? And it was the pterygiums. I had them removed. I don't have them in my eyes anymore, but my eyes are still healing. So sometimes they're like red and whatever, even though I have this thing I'm supposed to put in it, it's supposed to take up to a year to heal. It's only been a few months. So bear with me with that and these big glasses, even though I think the glasses are fashionable or it's whatever we make it, right? And then we're going to do the teeth next. I wanted to do the whole veneers package because I'm like, man, I'm too grown to go put on braces, But I spoke to a couple of you in here, some who did the veneers already and some who didn't. And my own family members on SouFLoTV have encouraged me to not do the veneers. Even people who have the veneers have encouraged me to not do them. It's pretty tempting though, because I went to the dentist, sat in the chair, and they gave me this pretty picture of what they can make my smile look like. And he's like, this is the Hollywood smile kind of thing, like ka-ching. However, he started talking about filing down my teeth all the way down. Especially, I have one tooth that's out of place. All my other teeth, they're good, straight. This one right here. And I tell you what, as a kid in Jamaica, when I was losing teeth, you know how we're troublesome? I actually tied a cord around this tooth and I tied it to the door lock, the cord to the door lock, and I slammed the door And that's something that we used to do to take our shaky teeth out as small kids. And this is the one that I did it to. And it's the only one, I don't know if it was trauma to the gum or whatever, but it's the only tooth that grew back, and it just wasn't straight. So they're giving me like what they can do to all that. I have that option, the veneers option, file my teeth down, let them manipulate my smile, or wear braces. I have to tell you, I chose to wear braces. So don't laugh after me if you see me show up one day and Mr. Metal Mouth and I have braces in. I don't want Invisaligns. I want traditional braces. I think traditional braces work better for me. So I've opted for the traditional braces. So soon you're going to be seeing me with a mouth full of metal, and I might be talking funny. Because you know when people just get braces, it makes you talk funny, right? Right. So, man, I should have listened to my mom. Remember, I told you my mother said, if you run it fast, you have to go run it twice. She was encouraging me when I was way younger. You know, you went it upon your mother insurance before me turn big man. She was like, come, get your braces. Even she got braces for herself. And I was like, no, me no want no braces. And now look at me as a grown man opting for braces. So it is what it is. You'll see me soon with braces. All right. You'll see me soon in a lot of other ways too. All the hair shaved off and all that other stuff. We got other stuff going on behind the scenes. But just to give you an update as to why I wasn't here and yesterday and what's going on, right? Erica Senior says braces is the best way. I think my grandchildren, 2 of them, has braces on right now. I'm just scared of the pain because I remember my niece put braces on, and my niece was crying. She was like, "Oh, my face hurts," and she had to go to sleep. Like her mouth, she said her mouth was pounding. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope it doesn't hurt as much as she was. I have a high tolerance for pain, so I hope that helps me. See, Les Steph, greetings. Thank you for being here. T95 South says Dr. Goff is the man. Michelle Howell says mother knows best. Yes, they do, but we don't realize that until it's way too late, right? Grandparents knows best too. We don't realize that all them things the older people are saying to us is actually going to be a part of the rest of our lives until they're gone or until they're way old and we're way grown. But that's how it goes. Nature's Motivation says SouFLo still haven't figured out how to change my payment method. Any info you can give? I have no idea. Nature's Motivation, I have absolutely no idea. I would have to look up how. If somebody in here can help you, that would be helpful to all of us, right? Nature's Motivation says, SouFLo, still haven't figured out how to change my payment method. I don't know. I think you have to probably like undo it and then completely start over with a new payment method. Maybe. Mr. Article Dan says the pain isn't bad for the braces. I hope so, because it's not like braids. I had braids before, right? And I had my hair like braided tight, and it hurt so bad. I was like, "Yo, take this out, please. Just take it out," because I don't know how women do it. That thing had me feeling like somebody was doing like this with me. It was painful. So I was like, please take it out, take it out." So and you know, braces, you can't be like, "Oh, it hurt, take it out." You just have to live with it. And I hope it's not that kind of pain. I hope it's not the kind of pain where I come here and I'm talking to you and I'm drooling at the same time. Somebody else says, SouFLo, wipe your mouth side. Water run out of your mouth. I hope it doesn't do me like that, right? But I'm getting the braces, so you'll see me in braces soon. Karen Mason says, I'm wearing braces presently and it's not that bad. Karen, did it hurt when it first got put in? Like really bad when it first got put in? I'm afraid, you know. I go on brave, but I'm afraid, especially at them something there. Anything medical. King Biggs says, if anything, she will have to cancel and start again. All right. King Biggs just said, if anything, you'll have to cancel and start again. Erica Senior says, at SouFLo, I asked you the same question. I had to cancel my credit card and get a new one, and that's the only way that I could change the payment method. All right. So we have help from Erica Senior. We have help from King Biggs. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Hope it answers the question. T95 South says, no, it's not bad, but you need to wax to cover the top braces for a while. You need the wax. to cover the top braces for a while. I don't know what that is. Go through subscription. I recently did mine. No, the pain was manageable. King Big says I had braces too, and now I wear the Invisalign. I have some mint tea in my cup this morning. That's what I'm working with. And we have some topics here we got to get into. Man, when you think it's peace and safety, it's sudden destruction. Here goes my granny words again. When you think it's peace and safety, is sudden destruction. Mervyn the Point Jamaica Kerr, big up yourself. Mervyn the Point Jamaica Kerr says she should add a backup card in YouTube. Delete the original one.
For the subscription stuff, they need to type in Google subscription if they're using Google, and then all your subscription are going to pop up. And then you're gonna go in there and replace the card for YouTube.
So you can actually go in there and change it?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so Wifey said, one more for you. Nature's motivation, one more for you. Wifey said, if you're using Google, she said to go into...
and type Google subscription.
Go into Google and type Google subscriptions, and all your subscriptions are going to show up. And then from there, you can switch out your payment method. She wouldn't know. Me wouldn't know. That anything that takes too long for me to figure out, I leave it alone. I'm that type. I'm at that stage in life now where I feel like I'm too old to be troubled. So, if it's technology, I'll mess with it for a little bit. But if it butter my head too much, I just left it and go on. You know, I'm too old to worry about certain things. So I just move on. Time is precious. Erica Senior says, Shakira, why did you come to my rescue a month or two ago? Why did you come to her rescue a month or two ago when she was hurting? Erica Senior says, I know because you couldn't help me. Remember, I didn't want to go to my children. Oh, boy. All right. See, I'm saying. Okay, so Bob Marley's son. Here are our topics for this morning. Bob Marley's son, Rohan Marley, is being sued by a female employee, and the female employee is claiming that there was an affair that took place between them while she was working for the company, and she was wrongfully terminated due to this affair. There's some details to the affair and to the conversation between both of them, which we're going to get into. I found this one pretty interesting because I did two stories this morning, one for my other channel, which is Hot Topics TV, and it was about Roddy Ricch, which is an entertainer who just got ordered to pay, and he paid her $24,000 a month. She's seeking $20,000 a month. So there's another, and then there's another one about Cuba Gooding Jr. Cuba Gooding Jr. was in quite a quagmire, but I don't know. It's interesting to me. In Cuba Gooding Jr.'s case, he met some lady at a restaurant in 2015 and 2013 or 2015, one of those. I did the video. It'll be up later on the other channel. 2013, 2015, he met some lady at a restaurant. All right. Hey, Cuba Gooding Jr., we're big fans of yours. Whatever. Could you sign an autograph? Cuba says, yeah. And I'm staying at a hotel down here. I like your vibe, your energy. You guys come on over with me. There's a, they have a bar and everything like that, a dance floor and whatever, a lounge at the hotel that I'm staying at. Would you be interested in coming over? We could have some more fun for the evening, have a couple of drinks, conversation. They went with Cuba Gooding Jr. Gets from the restaurant to the hotel. Gets to the hotel. Cuba Gooding Jr. says, I need to go upstairs to my room and change. I don't want to stay in this clothes anymore. He asked the lady if she wants to come up to the room with him. She says yes. 2020, she files a lawsuit demanding $6 million, saying she followed him up to his room. He talked her into following him up to his room to change his clothes, and he stripped naked, threw her on the bed, and raped her twice. And I'm saying to myself, like, if I'm a woman, right? See, I don't like to doubt women when they say they've been raped because you just don't want to be that kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? But if I am a woman and some man tells me that I met at a restaurant, some celebrity, I'm like, hey, this one of my favorite actors. Hey, how you doing? Or actresses. And they're like, yeah, oh man, talk to you for a minute and go, you know what? I like your vibe. So SouFLo, you said your name was? Okay, listen, I'm staying at a hotel down the street, right? And they have a nice lounge downstairs. We could have a couple of drinks, chop it up some more, have a conversation or whatever. Would you be interested in coming along for the rest of the evening? And I say, yes. Anything after that, if I'm a woman and that's a man, I'm thinking, and want some pum pum. I'm thinking crutches. I'm thinking, how many women in the world available to you? This is not no back of the wall actor. This is not no relatively unknown actor. You're talking about Academy Award winner, top tier A-list celebrity, Cuba Gooding Jr., right? You go to the hotel lobby, drinks, this, that, and the other, ends up going up to the man's room. The man said to you, I'm going upstairs to change my clothes. Change clothes means you have to take off what you have on in order to put on what you're going to put back on. Me as a woman, I would already be clicking like, hell no, you have me go up to your room unless I want to give him some. And then if you want to give him some, that's your business. I don't know. Some women like doing that. Then they put it on their list. I had sex with this celebrity. I gave some to that celebrity. I don't know. It's their fantasy. You can do whatever you want to do with your life. I'm not holding you on that. But I'm saying, what point did you get from I'm gonna go upstairs and change my clothes if you want to come up with me real quick? And she wasn't by herself. She had a friend with her as well. This is where the story gets twisted for Cuba Gooding Jr. So in that line, I look at this Bob Marley's son, Rohan Marley, being sued by the ex-female employee, and we're going to get into their story. I'm just saying, women sometimes put themselves in some situations. And then again, sometimes it's about that money, And I understand why some of these celebrities move the way they do, like have minimal to no contact with outside of their circle crowd. They treat everybody like, I'll wave to you from over here, but that's it. Sometimes they don't even answer when you say, hi, hey. They won't even look your way because a lawsuit could come about so easy. $6 million. $6 million. Anyhow, the next topic on our board this morning is a Jamaican nanny that was on board a U.S. jet crash. I woke up yesterday morning and heard something about a sonic boom that took place over, I believe it was Washington, D.C., and everybody heard it, and they were trying to explain it on the news what happened. Initial report was a jet. What you heard this morning was fighter jets rescuing a private jet that had run out of fuel mid-flight. That's what the first story said. This don't seem like that's what really happened, but we're going to get into the story as well. And then, of course, Davian Bryan. I know y'all remember not too long ago, Davian Bryan is that man in Jamaica who was running around raping a whole lot of females. Majority of them were underage girls. And he would kidnap them, take them into the woods, and he would hold them for days and do what he did. And then he would release them. He wasn't killing anybody, but he was committing kidnapping and rape. He got sentenced recently in the courts in Jamaica. And I want to talk about his sentence, and I want to talk about another slap in the face of victims. Victims being victimized again. It's something about the system that's very soft on certain types of crimes in Jamaica. We're going to talk about that. 5 Caribbean countries have been added to Canada's visa-free travel or their partial visa waiver. 5 Caribbean countries have been added, and needless to say, nobody know why we. Not like that, I guess, because Jamaica was not added to the list. So here we go with more Caribbean countries getting more benefits, just like the UK just did. The UK just updated their list and added a bunch of Caribbean countries to their list that can travel to the UK visa-free, which means you get your passport, you buy your tickets, you just go. You don't have to wait on no visa or anything like that. Jamaica wasn't on that for the UK, and Jamaica seems to not be on it for Canada as well. The leading story in my mind this morning, though, is a black mother of 4 that was shot and killed by her white neighbor. That's why I started off by saying, when you think it's peace and safety, it's sudden destruction. You know, I've spoken to some Jamaicans before where they're like, I live in a nice neighborhood in the US. I don't have to worry about crime and violence and all that. And so far, I prefer this than going back to Jamaica any day, of course, right? Um, but I always speak about a false sense of security. You want to be the only fly in the buttermilk, but there's a false sense of security that comes to it. Oh, my neighbors look out for me. If anybody comes up my driveway, they let me know my community is well secured, until you run over there and knock on one of those doors to try to get some help, and they shoot you through the door. Audrey Wright says a long time the neighbor did want to kill her. Where do we start this morning? I sips tea for 60 seconds and we get rolling. The choice is yours. Use it and let me know where to begin, and I will begin. Do we begin with the mother of 4? Do we begin with the 5 Caribbean countries added? Davian Bryan's sentence, the U.S. nanny on board the jet that crashed, or Bob Marley's son and the lawsuit that's out against him? Talk to me. In the meantime, shout out to my Haitians, man. Haitians always going through it, boy. They got hit again with flooding and earthquake and have lost some more people. Mother of 4, Latoya, BSN RN says mother of 4. Thank you for being with us. Great Goody says countries. King Big says countries. Stacey Ann says mother of 4. Audrey Wright says the nanny. T95 South says mother of 4. Michelle Howell says countries. The countries is winning so far. Great Goody says countries. Countries is winning. Erica Senior. Audrey Wright, for real, my girl. Miss Goldie Robinson says mother of 4. Mother of 4 is following behind. Dorothy T says Bob Marley. Mr. Article Dan says visa free. That's countries. Vicky Victory says the mother. Faye Shepherd says countries. Countries, it looks like it's going to be the countries first. Erica Senior says mother of 4. Rosalind Smichael says mother of 4. We have 20 seconds to go. Mother of 4, mother of 4, mother of 4. Black Goddess Henry says the nanny. Lessa Steph says the mother of 4. Donna Davis says countries. It's a close tie. But I need one more. Be that tiebreaker. Countries it is. Thank you, Veronica Gale. Veronica Gale said countries, so we're going to go with the countries. But we'll keep the countries thing short. It's just giving out some information, and then we'll go into the mother of 4 right after. Okay, so 5 Caribbean countries that have been added. The 5 Caribbean countries is not only 5 Caribbean countries, it's a list of countries, but among them are 5 Caribbean countries. So shout out to the Loop. Canada has announced the addition of 13 countries to its electronic authorization, ETA, electronic authorization travel program for eligible travelers, with 5 Caribbean countries now added to the list. Erica says, sound like a horse race that came on us park. And Mr. Lanky left is on the go. Coming in close on the right is Brockfoot 1. Brockfoot 1 is coming down the road. Brockfoot 1 is running. All right, so the announcement was made today by Sean Fraser, Minister of Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship. A media release states travelers from these countries who have either held a Canadian visa in the last 10 years or who currently hold a valid United States non-immigrant visa can now apply for an ETA instead of a visa when traveling to Canada by air. Effective as of today, eligible travelers from these countries can benefit from this program. Those countries from the Caribbean, Antigua and Barbuda, you never really hear of anything happening in Antigua and Barbuda. When I think of Antigua and Barbuda, I think of beaches. I think Antigua and Barbuda has 365 beaches, one for each day of the year. And most of their citizens live close to a beach, right? Antigua and Barbuda, and I think of sailing because that's where the wealthy goes with their yachts, most of them. Antigua and Barbuda is one. On the list, you have Argentina, Costa Rica, Morocco, Panama, Philippines. Antigua and Barbuda is one of the Caribbean islands. St. Kitts and Nevis is another one. You never hear anything much coming out of St. Kitts and Nevis either. St. Lucia is another one. You never hear much coming out of St. Lucia either in terms of crime and violence and these kind of things, drug smuggling and, Okay, so you have St. Lucia. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is another one. And lo and behold, Trinidad and Tobago has made the list. On that list, you also have Thailand and Uruguay, as well as Seychelles are on the list as well. Philippines and Panama. St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, and Antigua and Barbuda. No Jamaica. No Jamaica. Yes, this is live, Ann Ellis, and thank you for being here. So the statement added that introducing a visa-free air travel will make it faster, easier, and more affordable. Visa-free travel for thousands of travelers to visit Canada for up to 6 months for either business or just for leisure. God no. Me not lie. As a Jamaican, I know that this, or maybe it's because they think we will run off, because our track record shows that a lot of our citizens do run off, right? When you get a little visa and them say 6 months to stay, 6 years later, them can't find you still. Or 6 years later, that Jamaican done got married, started a family, filed different kinds of papers, got a lawyer, is not leaving. Could it be that? I remember they said that the power of the Jamaican passport is being reduced to almost nothing because of how many Jamaican citizens are running away to other countries, like unlawfully. We're not showing up at the airport and staying the time that we've been allotted and then leaving. We come to stay. we have a plan all along. Yo, give me the one visa now. You know how long me I go to embassy and them. You know how long me I apply for visa, brother. As soon as them give me I cut. So me I tell them friend, no. When I see you in 5 years, 10 years, I go over so go sort out myself, find a fatty boom boom, married and settle down, and them thing that then see me again, boss. And that's how it goes. A lot of people are running off. I'm feeling kind of a way. Imagine being Jamaican and you have your Jamaican passport and you can just jump on a plane and go to Canada. And you're allowed to stay for, it says right here, the statement adds that introducing this visa-free air travel will make it faster, easier, and more affordable for thousands of travelers to visit Canada for up to 6 months. That would be nice. If you can go over Canada for like a 6 month and then come back and go again when you feel like it, right? We're not given those types of opportunities, my friend. England just did the same thing that Canada just did. I'm realizing now that every time the UK makes a move, Canada follows closely with pretty much the same policy. So Canada, when asked why Jamaica was not on the list, not Canada, the UK actually said Jamaica was not on the list because we already have enough people there pretty much. That's what they were saying, is we already had enough people there. We already have enough people that ran off there illegally that are still there. And we already have enough people that come there that they have to deport back to Jamaica anyways. So based on that, they didn't put us on the list for visa-free travel to the UK. It would be nice. It would be nice to be able to go over to England. So this is what they were talking about when they were saying everybody that's running off, they're not thinking about anybody else back home, because the people back home who just want to travel, do your time, come back home, it's getting bad for them because they're not adding us to their list. See? But I tell you what, it's every man for himself, really. Because when I'm running away and I'm thinking the life I have here, I'm trying, but it's just not adding up. And I see all my family members and friends go away to America, Canada, England. They're all flourishing in life. They're doing so good. Some people stay already. Them go, them work hard. them come back, them build up big house, them drive nice car, them drive nice fun. Then and some of them are really show off with it, right? They rub it in your face like nothing I'm going for you. Look upon me. It kind of make you feel away, right? So if I'm hurting and I'm trying my best and I'm not excelling, I'm starting to devise a plan to get out too, to go get some of what I'm seeing everybody else get. So yeah, the amount of time I went to embassy, and then the embassy in Jamaica, they have a fee for everybody that applies. And when you get rejected, you don't get your fee returned to you. That's another thing I learned. You don't get that fee returned to you. You have to go find the money there again to reapply again, only to be rejected again. Some people have applied 4, 5, 6, 7 times with that big fee, never got the feedback, and never got an approval either. So it's rough. So by the time you actually do get an approval, you're not thinking, oh, I'm going to just go for like a 6 months of leisure and go back. You're thinking, this is it. This is the opportunity. Me I go act like me I go for 6 months, but you ain't seeing me until me straight over there. So sad. Nobody ain't thinking about the other. You're thinking about making your own life good, right? And I can't even blame anybody for that because the place set away right now where it's every man for himself. Dorothy T says, I'm still a bit embarrassed, but the good suffers for the bad. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. It's like nobody wants us kind of thing. They'll take you here on a farm work program if where they can monitor you closely. And even on the farm work program, they're now preferring to take people from South America or one of them other country, than Mexico or somewhere, before they actually look at Jamaica as first choice anymore. Because a lot of our farm workers do come up and run off too, right? Right. I just saw them say in Canada they're also going to make it so that those who are on some kind of a work program, work visa, they don't have to leave the country. They can extend for up to, I believe it's up to 13 or 18 months. And in the process, they will give them first dibs at bringing their family over from where they're from if they want to stay longer. But you know, it don't look like Jamaica is in that either. It bad. It bad. And our citizens are running away like crazy. Anyhow, they said that it will also help grow Canada's economy. See, just like how the Windrush generation went over to the UK to help restabilize the UK and grow their economy. Kind of same thing. It will help Canada grow its economy by facilitating more travel, more tourism, international business, and by strengthening Canada's relationship with these other countries while keeping Canadians safe. While keeping Canadians safe. That part. So yeah, they're not looking at us. They see their murder rate. You know, they got a lot going on in their country. I mean, we don't want to traumatize people coming here, acting out their trauma on our citizens, that kind of stuff. So they're kind of like waving by us. This decision will divert thousands of applications from Canada's visa caseload, allowing the country to process visa applications more efficiently because they won't have all these other visas from all these other countries to look through. You no longer require one. So if you had put in to get one and you were waiting and your name, your country just came up, waive that, buy your ticket, go and enjoy. So shout out to these Caribbean islands again, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda, and St. Lucia. Those are the 5 that have been added to Canada's don't need a visa to travel there anymore. And I think they are also on, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the same 5 that's also on the British no visa required to travel list as well. So I go here, Jamaica. Hush. We'll be all right. Shay says, I have a cousin who applied about 6 times and get denied. The 7th time he went and he got a 1 entry. Yeah. I just learned that recently, that the fee is pretty big. And when you pay the fee, you don't get the feedback when you get rejected. So in itself, just denying people visas in Jamaica, and it's embassy need to fix up, But you know what? They always design ways to make money off us no matter what. I feel like we're a product in a store, and that product is to be used to make money. Because think about it. You see the line them, how them long out there? All those people are applying. And most of those people will not be getting an approval, not at least not their first time around. Where does that money go? Because it doesn't come back to me. Where does that money go? It's just like the same thing happening in Jamaica with the taxes that I keep asking about. Where does the tax money go? Because the citizens who are working, law-abiding, tax-paying citizens pay taxes. Where does the money go? Because they don't get no kickback. You're accustomed to your USA lifestyle. Oh, end of the year is coming. I'm going to file my taxes. You're a single mom with 4 kids. Is a $10,000 check. That at least you work them angles right. Some people get all $15,000 in one check. This is income tax. Let me stop and say this first. To my Jamaicans who are watching, don't bother go pressure your family member when tax come because you think they are getting a $10,000 check. Yes, because me hear SouFlo say it. The whole of them get $10,000 check. Is not everybody get it. But certain things fall in place for a lot of people. Those checks can help you to see your way through. I'm trying to say that there's a kickback for us as citizens, and permanent residents, whereas in Jamaica, them just pay taxes. They just pay taxes. They just pay taxes. They don't see nothing back from their taxes, right? They just see politician house get bigger and them fly out when them feel like, and their children go to exclusive schools, and you see a brand new X6 BMW, and then you see the Mercedes-Benz SUV and this and that, and they live the good life, but no one explains where the hell the people money went or goes. Lady J says, these are things that Conjo should be looking at. But he won't. Dorothy T says, the Prime Minister of Tredu, I can't say his name right, whatever, Canada's Prime Minister, him fly in and out of Jamaica quite often though. Yes, and he's well received. Same thing for the UK. Same thing when the so-called royal family members came. That's why you saw a lot of people on the sideline with their big picket protest cards, because they give out all these benefits and they laugh in our face and, oh, Jamaica, I love your culture, I love your people, you're a vibrant people. And then when they give out opportunities, we know we're on the list. So it's like, damn, how much do you really like us? You come here to vacation, you come here when you want some publicity, you come here when, I guess, for the UK, you come here to overlook your subjects, I guess, and to see what the family business is doing. Like I said, we're that product in the store that money must be made off of. Yeah, go down there and check out your inheritance, William, and see how your ninjas are doing. Are they getting along fine? Or is there anything that might threaten the crown? That's the only reason they come. Anyhow, just know so we're not up on the list, Jamaica. So try again. Let's move into this other story though. The next story is it's not a happy-go-lucky story, but it's one of those raising awareness. Just like recently, the young lady and the young man that knocked on the door for help. Well, he didn't knock for help. There was one. A young man knocked on the door for help, and he had to run to save his life because they were shooting at him as he was running down the street. That's one. The young man that actually got shot, Ralph something. His parents sent him to go pick up his smaller sibling. He knocked on the wrong door. One street over, same number for the house, right? Here goes another one of these stories again. When you think it's peace and safety, it's sudden destruction. And that false sense of security, don't let it lull you to sleep. Still be vigilant, okay? I know everybody like you. I don't know why we keep telling ourselves that everybody likes us. And every time somebody do something to us, we're like, well, the ones I know is not like that. we had this discussion yesterday. Certain things I can't say here, but I think we're the only people that do this. You know, everybody likes us. Anyhow, it's a sad situation. So CNN covered the entire story and left a script. And the script says a mother of 4 was shot and killed in Florida. This Florida. Shot and killed in Florida following a long-time feud with a neighbor who had complained about the victim's children playing outside. Authorities and family attorney have said, both the police and the family's attorney said the same thing. This is a long-standing feud between them. The neighbors had something they didn't like about her children playing outside. Deputies responded to a trespassing call on Friday night, and they found one woman suffering from a gunshot wound, Marion County, Florida, Sheriff Billy Woods said in a Monday news conference. The victim was identified by authorities as Ejike or AJ Owens, and she was only 35 years old. The shooter, she was only 35 years old. This is her face before we get into the topic. Live on the air with SouFLo, good morning. Hello. Live on the air with SouFLo, good morning. And nothing. Okay. Let's keep going. So this is her. I showed she's also on the icon for the video, right? She was only 35 years old. She's a mother of 4. We're gonna hear about what happened. And I want you to use this as a learning point. Okay, raise your awareness. Stop walking around with blinders. It goes down. This is Florida as well. It goes down. One thing I always tell everybody about Florida is this. Just think to yourself that everybody you see around you is armed, because it's that kind of a state. Everybody might not be armed, but I look at it like everybody is armed. I don't go out arguing with anybody. If somebody bad drives me on the road, I just back off and leave them and let them go. I'm not the type to road rage. I'm not the type to, oh, you cut me off, I'm gonna cut you off back and all that. I don't do that. I don't wave fingers. I don't get excited in the car. Nothing, because it goes down, and it goes down all the time. Sadly, though, in this situation, it's more magnified because it's a black woman and her neighbor was a white woman. So the shooter, also a woman, engaged with Owen's children, and she threw a pair of skates, hitting the children. This is what the sheriff said. She threw a pair of skates. She hit the kids with a pair of skates. She didn't like them playing out there. She didn't want them playing out there. A witness told police that there had been a dispute over a child's electronic tablet device prior to the shooter throwing the skates at the children, according to an incident report from the sheriff's office. So what I heard yesterday was her children were outside playing. Her neighbor made a stink about it, like she always does. The mom told the children to come inside, right? The children came inside, but one of them left their tablet outside. You know, your little tablet, iPad, they left it out there in the same place. When they went back to get the tablet, the lady, the woman who was complaining about them playing, had taken the tablet. She took the tablet the kids left there. So the mom went to go figure out where's her tablet and if the woman have it or whatever. And the child went first to go look for the tablet, couldn't find the tablet. That's when the lady threw the skate, hit the child. Child went to go tell the mom. The mom went to go confront the lady, ask her, like, what happened? What's going on with you and my kids? And you throwing something, hitting my children. I don't know what manner she went over there in, huffing and puffing, and I want to fight you. Bitch, I'm going to you up. Or did she just go and ring the doorbell like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And got shot. So following that altercation, one of the children went back inside the house after they got hit with the skates and told their mother So the mom went over to the neighbor's home to confront the lady. And according to the sheriff's office, this is what they said. Now, according to the shooter, there was a lot of aggressiveness. She came to my house with a lot of aggressiveness, and it was on both sides, as well as threats being made. And the mom, who is now dead, was ultimately shot through the door. So when she went to go confront her, according to the shooter, she got aggressive with me. I got aggressive back with her, and I shot her through the door. Through the door. You know, this woman, when she did that, she wasn't arrested immediately. She was just taken into custody last night or yesterday evening, late evening, because I saw that on the news. But it took a whole lot of people to gather on that, in front of that house, for the law to actually take her in. Owning a gun and owning a right to have your gun or your paperwork to your gun, nowhere in it does it say it's okay to shoot someone through a door. If I'm in my apartment, you're outside my door, you're not a threat to me. You can say all you want to say. You can't do anything to me. I can stay behind the door, and I have options. I can call the police. I can tell the police there's somebody here trespassing on my property. They're acting very aggressive. She's out there saying she's going to F me up and all this. I'll even throw something in there and say, I think I seen a weapon in her hand. It's a black woman. She knows she a white woman. If she ever said, yeah, I think I just seen her flash a gun or a knife or something shiny, woo, 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 it's like 50 cars coming in like 10 seconds. She didn't do that. She just shot her through the door. Through the door. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Good morning, SouFLo. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good.
All right. Talk to us now.
Yeah, with the situation, this woman set her up.
She set her up.
Absolutely.
You think she knew what she was going to do before she did it?
Absolutely.
Wow.
You go and you take the tablet off the woman's property.
Mm-hmm.
You go and you hit the woman child you hit the woman child, period. You guys already have an issue.
Right.
You know, when that child goes and says that woman hit me and there's already an issue, she's gonna go over there like a raging bull. You hit her child.
Yeah, any mom would, right?
Any mom would.
Right.
So she went over there appropriately, like a raging bull, and then she said, "Okay, now I can do a what do you call it? What do you call that?
Stand your ground.
Stand your ground.
Because I fear
she
for my life.
She completely set her up.
Damn.
She completely set her up because you have no business taking the child. Why are you taking the child tablet? What does that have to do with you? You have no business doing that. You have no business hitting the woman's child.
With a pair of skates too, you know, them skates are heavy, you know.
You could have seriously hurt that woman's child, but you did it because you were setting a trap for the mother. Wow. And as soon as she came out the house, you're like, got her. You know she was gonna come over there like a raging bull. You shot her like a coward through the door. So that's what you wanted to do.
So this is a lesson for us, right? Like when we say don't let nobody draw you out.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of getting drawn out right there. Right there. Wow.
She did what? The mother not thinking of nothing else but go and clap off that woman's head.
Yeah.
Now she's gone too far. She could complain before. Okay, I'll take the complaint. Maybe she do a little name calling, but now you're throwing something at my child could hurt my child. I'm going to take your head off the base. That's how the mother went over there, justifiably, because you had no reason hitting her child. There's no way you thought you was going to hit her child and then go sleep a sound sleep.
Right.
You did it to draw the mother out so you can stand your ground. And maybe she even know people in the police department. She figured, hey, I've seen it done before. I'm going to get away with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good perspective on it.
Yeah. And people say, oh, there's no such thing as white privilege. There's no such thing as white privilege. Anytime a black person is killed by a white person, we have to practically draw down half the country.
Yes.
For the person to even be questioned.
Right.
For the person to even be arrested.
Right.
Now, tables turn. Let it have been a black woman who shot a white mother on the spot. She would have been arrested.
Absolutely.
No questions asked. Case closed. She's under the jail. She's finished. It's a wrap.
Absolutely.
White people don't have to go and hold up sign and picket to get black people who shoot them arrested. Ever.
Like I said, that false sense of security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
Damn it, man. All right. Thanks for your insight. I appreciate you greatly.
Yes, take care.
All right. I see a lot of you saying The Voice. The Voice hasn't been calling us on a regular basis because The Voice says she's busy and got other things going on in life, which we understand, but she always puts stuff into perspective. That's an interesting angle to look at it, right? So, yeah, in our culture, when we said don't make people draw you out, this is what we're talking about. Don't let them draw you out because they might have a plan for you already. She put it perfectly. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, family. How you doing?
I'm good.
You sure you're good?
I mean, it's, as she said, it's so obvious that she said that she tried to trap her. It's obvious. It was obvious to me from the beginning.
Really?
That, yeah, you come, okay, when the picnic come, I don't want the picnic, the mother want. So, she know in her heart, she already stereotypes black people. So she's probably thinking, if I hit the kid, mom's gonna become, angry. She's gonna come up here with that energy. So she's the child, as the child would do, go back to the mom. She hit me. What she do?
Beat the mom.
What you said she do? And go back over there. And the mom went and never came back.
Damn it, man.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
It's so obvious a trap.
No.
I mean, this scenario lays out for us exactly why this space we are living in America was not designed for us. None of it is designed for you, which we had to die to make it ours. We're dying still to try to make it ours.
To try to make it ours. Yeah, what you just said, he said we're dying still to try to make it ours. So many of us are kind of died.
Yeah, every time there's been change in America, black people have had to die. Not protest, not march, not whatever. Die. Dr. King had to fight to get what he wanted. And once he got it, it was out for him. Out for him, out for Hampton, out for X, out for all of them. That church the other day I was listening to one of the politicians who's running for president. And she was talking about that massacre at a church in South Carolina a few years ago. Where the nine black people died.
Right.
They had to die for her to take down that flag.
Yes.
She supported the flag, and the governor, and they had to die.
Not only that,
flag to come down.
Not only that, you remember how they brought in the boy that did the shooting? Because remember, they were in the church worshiping, right? And he walked in, caught them off guard. They thought, okay, come on in and worship with us. And he sat there for a second and got up and executed 9 of them in the church. You see how they brought him into custody? I think they stopped on the way and got him McDonald's. Yeah. Wow.
I mean, and it's so sad too because even the governor admit, she called the pastor of the church, she knew the pastor of the church, she called him and she told him what happened and he died there. And she left the voice note on his phone. So even she feel it and still they had to die for her to move. So none of it is for us. When this stuff like this happen, it only amplifies the tone of the country overall. Never feel safe. I believe that because they talk about you and they sit with you and they laugh with you that them really for you. Because the next second flip and for them folk come around for you, they're not gonna help you. The folks come for you, the folks come for you. Never come for them. So when this lady here now, you know how many years this lady been putting this? You know how many years this woman has been waiting to get this woman, the black woman, off her property, off her street? Because to her, it's her property.
Right. To
that white lady, this whole zone is hers. You have infiltrated our area. Our space has been contaminated. Let's remove the problem. You know how many years she been sitting and talk about to her friend them when we live right next to the black woman about this? This
how much they don't want them there, right?
Exactly. The only thing that was impulsive was the fact that she thought about it so quick to do it now. She got the chance to do it right now. She saw the tablet on the ground, and that was the only time when something wasn't planned. It was just like, oh, this is my chance, and take her chance. A long time she had planned this. She could have planned to burn in her house and the chance miss her, but she get her chance now and she take it. And watch the story. She probably gonna get like what, 5 years, 10 years, then let off after what, 2 or 3. Never about her again. Yeah. So probably her cousin them in a police department. Everything is conjoined together. Maybe it's not that perfectly conjoined together and seamless, but believe me, there are people in there that are shaking her hand and patting her on the back and saying, good job.
Yes. I'm aware of that for sure. God, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, my brother, for putting some things into perspective for it. You know, I'm not cut you off, but and I thank you for your insight. You said some real stuff just now, boy. Every time there's change, black people have had to die. Damn.
Yep.
You know, that's why I keep on saying that when I go to Jamaica, I feel so safe. Every time I'm in Jamaica and I put up any posts, I get a whole bunch of, oh my God, SouFlo, please be careful and watch your head back and all this. Let me tell you something. One thing I know for sure, 2 for certain, I'm not knocking on nobody's door in Jamaica asking for help and them shoot me through the door. Nobody.
Exactly.
Whether I come from gunman community or I come from uptown, it's not happening because it's just not in us or how we do, and there's nothing to fear there, right?
Exactly.
Why?
She was so, that lady was so eager. She probably said to the people, and it's like she get giddy. She didn't even wait to open the door. She got so happy. She shot her immediately.
Through the door.
Through the door to the people. She said, see her there? Boom. So just know what ground you're walking on. Say we had to die to make it our ground. Our blood is in the soil. Not for them. Our blood is in the soil.
All right, my brother. Thank you. We appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah, every time that young man talk, I'm very impressed. Yeah, I'm like young, intelligent minds, but damn it, man. You know? Damn it. So according to the shooter, right? She had aggression. I have aggression. We both got aggressive. I shot her through the door. And she was shot through my door. Witness told authorities, give me a second, caller. Let me run through the rest of this. Witnesses told authorities that Owens, which is the mother who got shot, she went to the shooter's home and she knocked on the door before she got shot. Owens was later pronounced dead at the hospital, authorities said. The woman who fired at Owens has been, according to the media, has been cooperating with law enforcement, and no arrests had been made in the case. Now, why would no arrests be made in the case in a situation where you shot somebody from behind your door, through the door, when the law clearly states that in order for you to use your weapon in that manner, you must be in imminent danger and you must see yourself in a position where it's life or limb. This person is going to either maim me forever, leave me with one leg, one arm, or this person is going to kill me, leave me without sight, or kill me. And I have to defend myself in that manner. You are behind a door that's locked. With how many locks on it? You're in your house. And no arrests was made. Last night I saw where it said she was brought into custody. I don't know if she's been arrested and charged. So we'll follow up on this story. Authorities have not named the shooter. They have not shared her identity or any information concerning her. But civil rights attorney Ben Crump, one of the attorneys that is now representing the family, identified her as a white woman, according to a new release from his office on Monday. The incident report also described the shooter as a 58-year-old white woman. In a separate news conference held by the Owens family attorney, the victim's mother said that the neighbors who shot her daughter had called the family, including the children, the N-word a couple of times. Well, little niggers, little ninjas, big ninjas, ninjas. The neighbor's door never opened When Owens, who was black, tried to confront her and she was shot through the door, she still didn't open the door. My daughter, my grandchildren's mother, she was shot and killed with her 9-year-old son standing right next to her at the door. He was the one that got hit, and she brought him back over there, which is typical for our family, our people to do, right? Where's Sam, though? Him lick you? Come with me, come. Come say it in front of him. Because you must say a make-up story. That's how we do, right? You must be making this up. She hit you. Come here. Let's go over there. I got to talk to this lady. Did you hit my son? Bow. She had no weapons. She posed no imminent threat to anyone. And her mom says all she is asking for is just some justice. The sheriff is now referring to the Stand Your Ground law. In Monday's news conference, authorities pleaded for calm and patience, which is what they always do, right? Your family member got killed, so let's have some calm and patience as we investigate the shooting. I mean, it's clear cut what happened. As we work to recover possible video footage and interview the children who witnessed their mom being killed. The sheriff also asked for anyone who was there or who might have some information to this situation to get in touch with them. And while responding to criticism about how long the investigation and a possible arrest is taking, because people were there at the news conference saying, she shot her through the door. What are you guys waiting for to arrest the person that shot her? The sheriff referred to the state's Stand Your Ground law. The law allows people to meet force with force, he said, if they believe they or someone is in danger or being seriously harmed by an assailant. That was his response to, why are y'all not making an arrest yet? He said the Stand Your Ground law. He said the law allows persons to meet force with force. It has to be equal force or more force than it for dangerous force coming towards you. It can't be, I believe. See, what a lot of people don't understand is that the law has specific instructions for us in law enforcement. This is what he said. Anytime that we think or perceive or believe that might come into play, we cannot make an arrest. Anytime they think or believe or perceive that the Stand Your Ground stuff might come into play, they cannot make an arrest. That tells me that I need to be extra careful out here. I was already extra careful, but this is showing me again and again and reinforcing what I already know. And I'm telling you, be extra careful out here. It's nothing for somebody to shoot you down and say there was an aggressive altercation and I felt like my life was in danger. Guess what? Arrest cannot be made once Stand Your Ground is claimed. The sheriff says what we have to rule out is whether the deadly force was justified or not, because we can even make an arrest. They have to justify or see where it was justified before they can make an arrest. Authorities had received reports from 2 neighbors dating back to at least January of 2021. The sheriff said those reports include calls from the shooter complaining about Owen's children. She's been calling the sheriff's office on her since 2021, complaining about her children. They're playing out here. They're making too much noise. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. Can you come tell them to keep the noise down? The sheriff said in those situations, it was just children being children, either being on someone's property or playing in front of the multiplex where they live. That's why I'm gonna live around people in close proximities. Here's what I wish. I wish our shooter would have called us instead of taking actions into our own hands, is what the sheriff said. I wish Miss Owens would have called us also in hopes that we could have never got to the point in which we are today. So when someone hits your child and your child come tell you, don't go confront them because they might be baiting you, call the police. In the heat of the moment, because this is a long-standing feud, because she always called the police on them anyways, and it's a multiplex. So what part of it was her property? Her little square of grass and her little square of sidewalk is her property. The sad part is her 9-year-old was standing right next to her because he was the one that got hit. He was standing right next to her when the woman shot through the door and killed his mom right in front of him. The sheriff's office closed that meeting, press conference, by telling the Owens family that to be patient, and me and my office are going to do everything to bring justice. Let's see what kind of justice they get, because they can't bring her back. You know, I say this is a learning for us, because a learning moment for us, because that's the first thing I would think of doing as well as a father. I'm overprotective, crazy about my kids anyways, right? My daughter cry, I stop morning thoughts. Like if I be telling my wife, like, take her somewhere where I can't hear, because if she cry, my mind start thinking maybe her mom's not seeing what she's getting into, maybe she's being hurt, so if my child come and tells me that the neighbor just took a pair of skates and hit her with the pair of skates, my first reaction is I'm heading right over there. And I too could be caught up in that manner. And now my child has no parent to care for her, or her daddy is gone. So, you know, these children, 4 kids, are now left traumatized, witnessing what happened to their mom, and will never see their mom again alive. Crazy, man. It's funny because yesterday we went into Orlando, and me and my wife, I drive around, and I was saying, boy, it look pretty out here still, but actually, I said something derogatory. Cock your ears a little bit. Let me tell you exactly what I said. I'm not too hide my talk, because we are big people, right? I drove into this beautiful looking complex, and it looked like each house was two-story, but they were all joined up to each other. And my wife said, boy, them house here closey. And I said, yeah, in communities like these, somebody in here effing somebody's baby daddy, somebody in here asleep with somebody's husband, somebody in here have bad feelings with somebody else and I rob somebody else, and all kind of something going in an environment like this. That's why I never got comfortable living in these kinds of environments. Anywhere you put too much people in a one space, it's bound to be some kind of something. And for us, trying to make it out of, say, ghetto-like environment, that's why it's up to us also to save us, man. Because you know what? Our communities, if we police our communities better, if we looked out for family better, Tupac Shakur said it best. He said, when those people get paroled from prison, the rapists who got convicted, the murderer, the child molesters, where do you think they go to live? They come right back here where we live at. So every one of us is trying to like make sure that our kids aren't raised in that environment, even if we grow up in it. So we move into these places where we're like the only fly in the buttermilk, and we think we're safe, right? I don't have to worry about being in the hood. I don't have to worry about ninjas fighting with each other. I don't have to worry about derogatory music and loud cussing around my kids all the time. I don't have to worry about the police coming through and abusing anybody on the block. I'm in the suburbs. I'm off over here where you have to make good money, and we live a certain kind of way. And you're damn if you do and you're damn if you don't. Right? Because like the other caller just said, they don't really want us there. And the minute we come there, it's like you're encroaching on my space. I don't want to see black kids playing around here. You know how much I pay for my rent around here? I'm trying to move away from y'all. Why are you here? Live on the air with SouFlo. Good morning.
Hey, SouFlo. Good morning.
Good morning, family. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm listening to your story, and I might have a different take, but I still want to say what I have to say. But do you know what time of the day this happened, the shooting?
What time of the day?
Yeah.
No, I don't know what time of the day. It was sometime during the afternoon though, when children would be outside playing.
Okay, I was just curious because when you listen to the whole story, you want to talk about protection. You want to talk about family protection, right? The person with the gun, the purpose of the gun is to protect, right? That if we're going to look at this in the realm of protection, I don't know the answer to this, so I'm going to ask you. Maybe you don't know, I'm not sure, but where was the father of the children or her boyfriend or her husband? The reason I ask is because we have to be honest. In today's society, we have a lot of single mothers.
I was waiting for somebody to say that.
We don't have a lot of protection for these single mothers. And we given what you said, there's already a history of tension between the two neighbors.
Right.
I have something similar, not as bad. I have a dog, and when you walk your dog bites dog. And if me as a man, if I'm aware that my wife or my girlfriend has tension with a neighbor and something, and my girlfriend or wife comes in and says, hey, they just hit so and so with whatever, I'm not sure what I'm going to do because I'm not there. But
I'm not sending her over there.
Me as a logical person, I mean, I probably would have called the cops because I know how Florida is.
Right.
I really try not to let my emotions get the best of me.
Right.
But females are different. They're emotionally driven.
Absolutely.
So I was just kind of wondering, and it goes to show, I'm not saying if the father was there, he would have called the cops too, but typically speaking, men are more logical, and they probably would have said, hey, I know you're angry, but that woman may have a gun. Let's call the cops and see where it goes. Or maybe he would have went over there, and it probably would have been a little bit more calm. You know what I mean? But just something I want to throw out there, that we also want to make sure that we keep these things in our head and try to protect our families and try to put families together, because there are too many women in the world with children, and there's no, even if the father is alive, he's not around to protect, or he's not around for her to call and say, hey, this is what's going on. What do you think I should do? And as a result of that, our females getting into fights they don't need to be getting into fights with. You know what I'm trying to say to you?
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying this is what the cause is,
yeah,
but I'm a technician. That's what I do for a living. And my job, regardless of how the problem happened, is to figure out how could this have been prevented.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's a possible, you know what I mean? I just want to let my 2 cents in.
Yeah. Very, very, very logical. You said a whole lot, which I will build on. Thank you. Because I was waiting for somebody to say it. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen, that's the part I was wondering, and not to judge or anything, but that's the first thing I thought. I thought to myself, where's the dad? Because I kept reading the story, and I've read, like I do all the time, I normally read like 4 different news entities, how the story is brought across, to see if there's validity in it, to see if anybody has a different version of the story. So I could say, over here they're saying this, but over here they're saying completely something different. And they all carry the same, pretty much the same story. And none of them mentioned a dad, a man, right? In that family. So it's a single mom of 4. And she was being forced to be that protector, provider plus, Live on the air with SouFlo. Good morning.
Morning, brother. Good.
Yeah, thank you, family. Onika St. John Jones, you're very right. The dad might be at work, but I'm just saying, all the news entities that I scoured, there is no mention of the dad. And up till now, which is days after it happened, there's only mention of her mom, her mother, not the father of the children. And I'm thinking he would have spoken up by now, because this didn't happen yesterday. It happened a few days ago, right? All right. Yes, caller. Thank you for calling in. We're live on the air with SouFlo.
Good show.
Thank you.
So let me ask you a projection question. We see the variables of guns, getting kills, house.
Do you have us on speaker or Bluetooth?
No.
Okay, because your call is chipping in and out, so we can't really get a steady, like, hear what you're saying.
Okay, so just a basic question. This is going to keep in America.
This is going to keep what?
It's going to keep happening.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So the question I have for you is this. The question is this. We're going to have to look into some change of laws. Because this is going to keep happening.
So we're going to have to look into changing some laws because this is going to keep happening. You're breaking up, so we can't hear you properly. So I'm going to have to repeat what you're saying so the audience is involved. He's saying that we're going to have some changes done to some laws because this is going to keep happening. I feel like this is actually emboldening people based on, for instance, what happened with the young man that went to go pick up his sibling and he got shot through the door, got shot in the head and all that, and he was recovering. He survived miraculously. Look up what happened in that incident with that older man, white gentleman that did the shooting. Look up what happened in his incident. All this does is emboldens the next person to do it again or to say, I was standing my ground. It worked for him. It worked for the next one. And remember, when you go to court, right, that's all your lawyer does. Your lawyer is like, look, should I pull this case up for reference? So they'll pull up all the other cases of people that got away or got barely any time at all. And then they'll say, my client was in a similar situation, judge. Before you know it, it's thrown out. So it's written into law. It's written into law. And as long as the law stays the way it stays, we are going to keep having these. You are absolutely right. Absolutely right. Do we have the power, though, to get those laws changed? I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right.
Do we have the power to get those laws changed, though, or amended? Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Good morning. Are you still doing your live?
Okay, so you're obviously not watching.
I'm watching. I hear a gentleman, so that's why I was asking. Maybe
that was somebody on the phone that called in.
Okay, well, what I wanted to say was I agree with the gentleman that I can hear talking on my tablet right now about single mothers, but about Black women in general, because I am Black, that we act overly aggressive sometimes.
SouFLo, what's good, man?
Oh, wow. I think I cut that person off. Damn. All right. Thanks for being here. Thanks for calling in. You're live on the air. What's good, family? I hope she calls back.
SouFLo, I was just going to ask, man, do you think that we should just, at the end of the day, as far as Black people, just stay and like you said, govern our own areas, but why are we moving to these locations where these certain particular people don't really mess with us? Because this happens often. And it's not to say.
A lot of the times we're trying to escape our own, man, and that's the sad truth. Yeah, that's the sad truth. A lot of the times we're trying to escape our own, and that's the sad truth. I remember Tupac Shakur saying, I feel comfortable, like I have money now, I could move to these exclusive communities, but I never feel safe there. I feel more comfortable in the hood. And they asked him why, and he said, there's a lot of dangerous people there, but I know the dangerous people there, right? In the hood, you normally know who's doing what and who's up to what, and they know you too. So it's either they're going to prey on you or you're going to stay out of their way, and they continue to do what they do. In these places, we don't know who likes us and who doesn't like us. Right. And it could come from any angle, and it's actually a really dangerous situation, right? When we think we're moving up and moving to better because there's less of our own around.
Exactly.
Right. So ultimately, it's us running from us.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I know, like myself, being a Haitian person, our background and my mother and father, thank God, still in my life. always taught us, hey, you know what? These friends, these neighbors, etc., they're not who matters. Stick to your family. You know what I mean? Stick to your brothers and sisters, your cousins, because again, you don't know their mentality. You don't know their intentions.
Right.
So although we want to go into, you know, these like you said, we want to stick with our people, they could do just as much harm, if not more, you know, in other locations as well.
Right.
But I'm not here, and not to, I don't want to demonetize the town or anything like that, but usually it's a lot of stuff that happens to us Black people from white people, and they're not going to feel the repercussions a Black person would face. So why are we putting ourselves in those particular situations where, oh, I'm in this area, like you said, and okay, I got this nice looking location, but something happened to me, they're gonna bat their eye. I'm an African American person. We're African American family. What's the point of, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, man. God bless that woman's family and her kids, but like you said, we got to build a location for ourselves where it's like you said, we govern ourselves.
Absolutely.
Being in Brooklyn, there's location, I don't know if you know about the SouFLo, but there's a part of Brooklyn, parts of Brooklyn where it's nothing but Jewish people.
Yeah.
Their own police department, their own hospital. Black people don't have that. We're worried about being, you know, included in everything else and everyone else.
Yeah, and the Chinese have the same thing, and the Italians have the same thing.
Right.
Right. And their neighborhoods don't have crime and violence and stuff like that going on to the degree that our neighborhoods do. And we do this to ourselves. And then we have our members they wish every day, man, I'm working hard. I'm working 2 jobs. What you doing it for? So I could get up out of here. Those people, they're not running away from their neighborhoods. They're comfortable around their own because they're protected, right?
Crazy, man.
Right.
But I don't want to take too much time. I appreciate SouFLo.
All right, fam. I appreciate you. Thank you.
No doubt.
I want that mom to call back because she was saying something and I wanted her to finish what she was saying. But yeah, this is just another angle to look at what just happened without just talking about just that situation. We have to get to a place where we're like, okay, we see what's happening around us. So what do we do now to safeguard us? Because otherwise we're just going to be like this. Well, happened again. Okay, I'm tired of this now. And then what? Happened again. We're going to have to start to, hold on. I'm trying to get this mom to call back. We have to come up with a solution. And the solution is to make our neighborhoods safe for us. Our neighborhoods safe for us. Yeah, that part. You know, it's sad, but I'm old school. I was raised by old school people, but I remember like a time gone by, like in our communities, in our neighborhoods, even the drug dealers that were outside on the block would tell you, go up the block. They would tell you, go up the block. They used to even drive around and they'll warn us like, yo, shit's about to go down. Stay inside. It's like stuff like that, right? Like they used to look out for us. The kids are playing outside. Nobody could do anything to any of those kids. Yo, that's Miss Marva's son. What y'all fighting for? Hey, man, look, you don't come from around here. You don't live on the street. Go back to your block. Go back to your street. We used to be governed under our own. And then, I don't know what happened. Greed, jealousy, envy, lust for material things like morals gone, money over everything, money over self-respect, money over your family, money over life, money. We just turned a page and went to a dark place for some reason, but it was better like that. I used to say it. I used to say the same thing Tupac Shakur used to say. I used to pull up everywhere and jump out in any hood. And because I genuinely felt safe. Could I have gotten killed sometimes? Yeah, I probably could have. But me and nobody had any beef there. And I know how my people go, operate, get down. And I know what to do and what not to do. I'm not going to jump out, big jewelry on, I'm flashy and all this other kind of stuff. I'm better than people around here. Somebody run down on you. I'm not around here to sell drugs. I'm not around here to fight nobody, disrespect nobody. I'm chilling. I'm passing through. I bring good vibes. And it's always good. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, can hear you loud and clear.
Respect and love, brother.
Manners and respect, family.
No, check this out, my brother. No, we have to look on this thing from a spiritual, psychological, and Rome is falling. It has to be a major shift. I mean, in reality, we feel Marcus Garvey. Him start, all of us didn't have to go to Africa, you know, brother. But it's quite obvious we've overstayed. Most of us have overstayed our, you saw me, I said, brother, right? And remember, you know, brother, just like Jamaica, we the foreigners were distracted and never put 80% of our effort into building our nation, Jamaica, nor Africa. Real talk. The psychological disturbance of these certain mankind has been there.
Right.
This is nothing new.
So what you're suggesting is that we run off of the land and go back to Africa?
No, run. No.
Run, walk, fly, crawl. You suggesting we return to Africa? Is that what you're saying?
Not just in a physical, in a mindset of. There's too much of us here in the mindset, in the society that was built for us, in this mindset of weaponizing humanity. So you see, America, England, everything is about weaponizing humanity. Everything's about killing. The video game, the movies. When I went to Botswana, you cannot play a movie with a gun on television. America is a gun culture. Africa is not a gun culture.
Same.
So then, if you live in a gun culture, what do you expect? When you go to Ghana and Botswana and Egypt, you saw me I say, it's a different spiritual energy, my brother.
Same.
So what I say to you is that we, the people, have to recognize we can't, all of us can't stay in the pig pen and expect not to have shit on our face. We have to build a new system. We have to get away from enough of them systems. Because the system is now psychological, brother. The fall is not physical, you know. If you look all around you, my brother, we are say guns everywhere. But if you go to Africa or go to a Arab country, you get a different spiritual energy. So this is bigger than law, you know?
Depending on where you go. Depending on where you go, right? On the continent, right? Because some parts of the continent itself is in turmoil as well. I mean, Africa is a continent with many countries, and some are peaceful, and then some is war-torn and warlike, and worse than what we're going through here, right? So
yes and no. Yes and no, I tell you this why. Yes and no. You see, America, you will have certain breakouts in Africa for political reasons, you know. But you see, the fabric of the entire system in America, the random nature of crime and killing, it's a psychosis. In Africa, it's crime, killing is not a psychosis. It's not propelled by video games and movies and, you see what I say?
Yeah. Songs.
So that's what I say is that we as a people have to look at a bigger picture.
Okay.
Don't stay too long at the pig pen and expect shit not to come to your face.
All right, brother.
Respect and love.
Manners. I can't go around that. I can't go around that. I myself was a part of that for a while, but I'll talk about that later. All right, live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, live on the air.
Yeah, sorry to call back twice.
No, man.
But to what that guy said,
him so
all
like
of us don't take our energy and just go back.
Yeah,
really and truly.
But he might talk about go back physically, but he's also talking about now. If he's talking about going back spiritually, right, or in a mindset way, mentally, spiritually, then that's different. And he did add that in there to his credit. because I was one of them people there. Back in that day, if you didn't meet me, I would have been Beer Rastafari and Holy Emmanuel and these things and Forward to Africa and these kind of things, red, black, and green. That was me for a while. See? But I realized that, and I said it before, the one that we can pick up around Africa, enough of we in a bad shape, bad condition, our mindset wouldn't gel properly with. We would just be bringing back turmoil and all that to the continent. So we must first repatriate mentally, and we must first go back to ancient ways and tradition and these kind of things mentally first, and start practice living that kind of way first. See, if we practice living certain kind of way first, it means we have gone away mentally from what is been given to us and what we've created here that's so destructive for us. And then if we change that, then we can start to think about making a physical move. But we must clean up first in order for us to make that physical move. I think that's what he was trying to say.
Yeah, and that's okay, but for me, it's like everybody's not gonna go back. And even if a majority of us go back, those who are left, it's gonna be even worse for them, because now you don't have your numbers anymore.
But how about
now,
go back? How about
you are
going
not
back?
46 million.
How about going
You're
back
like
mentally?
15. Huh?
How about going back mentally, spiritually, as opposed to going back physically?
Mentally is fine.
We know, so
Mentally
the whole get up and everybody must go back. That will never work. That will never work.
Right.
So
that doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
You ultimately, as much as we are connected to Africa, Africa is an overseas country. As
Same.
much as we want to tie ourselves to it, that's not us anymore.
Right.
What we have to do here
Facts.
is what Black Americans were trying to do in the 60s and 70s. They were trying to arm themselves. They were trying to protect their communities. We were trying to protect our communities. Like that guy said before, the Black American said before, we were having our guns. We did have our safe spaces. We did.
True.
They put all those guys in prison.
True.
They call them terrorists.
Right. They
The
dismantled
Black Panthers
those.
were not really terrorists. They were armed. They used the law to their advantage. They had their rights like every other American. They took up their firearms and protected their communities, and they were safe. Kids went to school. Families came home and had dinner and prayed. People had their whole lives in those communities, and they were safe. No issue. What happened? The police went in there. The government said they were terrorists. The police went in. FBI went in. Got what they needed to get. Sent them to prison. Back to crime. And then Nixon made sure not only did we get those types of guys with the back to Africa, with the not back to Africa, but mentally in Africa mindset. They got those guys out, and then any other man that was a certain age that could get that mindset went to prison. Once we got your jobs away and we got those empowered men dead or in prison, then any other man left was going to be selling crack, because we took all the jobs away from him. And because we did that and he sells crack, then he's going to prison for 50 years.
Akima Gray Evans, I appreciate you greatly. Thank you. Says, bless up your damn self, SouFlo. You're my brother from another mother. I have great respect for you, Flo. Thanks for keeping us grounded. Stay blessed, Maji. Manners and respect, family. You're absolutely right, though, Makala. You're absolutely right.
So the solution isn't to try to, separate mentally. Absolutely. Have a different mindset.
Yeah.
But you need to protect yourself. This is not your system. Protect yourself. Build together. Support each other in our communities. But yes, but with change, we have to do change.
Awesome. All right. Let me take this call from this person, because this is what I was waiting for. Live on the air with SouFlo. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, SouFlo.
Morning, family. How you doing?
I'm good. Yes. What I wanted to say was that let's not just look at the high crime or the guns in our community without looking at all the lack of resources, all of the institutional racism that's being directed. Because let's look at the whole picture. I don't think that the high incidence of violence in our community is just because it's our community. Let's look for the reasons behind it. Because there are reasons behind it.
All right, let me ask you this. So what reasons do we have to be shooting each other up in our communities?
Well, of course, it's the mental damage that's been done to many of us, the wrong thinking that we have. Part of what the young man was just saying before, and this gun culture that we live in. And also, I wanted to share, there's a writer, she's a doctor, Dr. Joy DeGruy. Have you ever heard of her?
No.
She wrote a book called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome.
Okay.
And she goes into the damage that has been done over a number of years. Because remember, the history of Black people in this country, 400 years of institutional white supremacy, racism, it's never been addressed. We're supposed to just go on as if these things didn't happen and these things are not going to have an effect. I mean,
how long are we going to keep saying that,
after a few years? What is the damage that has been done to our communities? Every time we try to move forward, we push backwards. It's a continuous struggle in this country. That has to do something to the mentality of the people.
All right.
So, it's not like we're looking for excuses, but you have to look at things happen for a reason. So we would best serve us to look at some of what is wrong and fix it, even if we have to do it ourselves, because we're not getting the resources in our communities that other communities get.
All right.
So I think we really need to be more analytical and examining what are the causes. There is cause and effect. Unless we're saying that Black people are just horrible, then we have to look at what is going on in the Black and what has been going on for many, many years in this country. When the first time that the FBI hired a Black agent was because of Marcus Garvey. They wanted to be able to infiltrate his movement. So there's always been that attack on our communities, and that has to have an effect on the long term.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
But please check out Dr. Joy DeGruy's book. Anyone else who wants to read it, she hits a lot of things on the head there, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So I'm not taking any more calls after this, right? Let me say this. I'm tired of hearing it. I am sick and tired of hearing it. I'm sorry, Black people, but listen to me, please. This whole slavery, 400 years and trauma after and all this, y'all pardon my language for a minute, bullshit, okay? Bullshit. It's time for us to get past that. I'm a grown-ass man, and I've been hearing this stuff since I was yay high, since I was like a teeny tiny tot, It's bullshit. When are we going to get past that? When are we going to start talking about what was done to us and how traumatic it was? And when are we going to get to, okay, so we need to dive into our own problems and we need to fix our shit and we need to band together and we need to pull up our friggin' self by our bootstraps. I don't want to hear no more about no damn resources. We got lots of resources. Yo, did you know that the Black community is the only community that spends most of our income outside of our community, and we are talking about billions and billions of dollars per year, right? Listen, we need to stop blaming this all. It's like a self-pity thing. It's like a self-pity thing. Again, I was just saying this to wife the other day. I said 400 and something years them hold with on you. Yeah, that's a raw sign of weakness to me. They came with guns and we had bows and arrows, and something in us made us not pick up a friggin' gun after we shot down one with a bow and arrow. We just kept shooting friggin' bow and arrows and flinging spears. When did we get in our head that we might have to start use some of them guns and us to take with some guns and start farm our own army with guns and fight back? And none of that came to us, right? Then they throw in this religious thing and then they grab us with that all the time. Whoop, still chill. What would Jesus do? And we just give over to all these excuses. I asked, what was our purpose of shooting our own selves down in our own communities? That don't have nothing to do with no damn 400 years of nothing, okay? We shoot our own selves down in our own communities like that because we just don't damn like each other. And we can now stop blaming that on slavery because we know long enough now that's what it was, or that's what it is, and where that started, and the infighting and all that. She said something very interesting. She said, you know that when the three-letter word people first hired a black agent, it was because of Marcus Garvey, because they wanted to infiltrate. And in my mind, I'm like, let her get off the phone so I could say this. Yeah, so there's always been sellout among us. There's always been us that's willing to go against us. There's always been a set of us that easily bought and easily sold, and we don't see the bigger picture for our own. We would rather lick boots and get a little bit of trinkets for ourselves on the side so we could come around and boast to the others that I got more than you got, but we don't see the big picture, and we're not riding for anybody, and we're not riding for our own either, right? There's always been that. But we need to learn how to cut the grass low then. We need to learn how to see the snakes and chop the head off. We need to learn how to, like, we keep going back to that 400-year stuff. It makes me look at us as a people that is helpless and hopeless and need to be led, because we can't lead ourselves. So if it's that what you want me to accept, then keep telling me them stories about them 400 years and trauma after and all this. Yeah, she might have wrote a good book like so many others, but let's not get stuck in these books, because life happens outside of the book. You know what I mean? When are we going to actually do something? Instead of just going off of all, it just sounds like excuses to me, man. Now, like I was saying before, that woman might be a single mom, right? Now, because I haven't heard any mention of any mom. Onika St. John Jones said, okay, so the dad might be at work, and that's why he wasn't mentioned. Well, I guess he'd been at work for like a week or something. But anyhow, say, just for on conversation's sake, that the dad is at work, or just for conversation's sake that she is a single mom. Okay. This is where we start to point to our men and be like, look, what's the reason? How? Okay, she had 4 kids. Were they for one man, or were they for like this? There's accountability to be taken here in our situation. We not just suffering because somebody did something to us for 400 years from whatever. There's accountability to be taken here. You have 4 kids. Are they from the same man? Were you once married and had your kids and then you got divorced? What? Or you have 4 kids, 4 different men? Okay, where are the men? Where's any of them that stay around to protect you? Where are any of them that you could call on that you know for a fact is going to show up for you, right? You just keep having these babies. Okay, say that's not the case and she only have 4 kids by one man and he passed away. She's now left out here. Where's the rest of the community that's going to step up and say, yo, there's a sister that lived next door that got 4 babies. We got to help her raise her babies, because the father, who's supposed to be the protector provider, you know him, drop out. He's dead. He got out of prison for 20 years, 30 years, whatever. We just can't have her out in the streets like this. People shooting at her, throwing skates at her kids, all this other stuff. That's our responsibility. So we need to stop with this. It happened 400 years ago. And every time I hear that story, I start getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I got to pull myself up. I'm not selling myself none of that. We need to get up as a people and organize as a people and start looking after our own as a community, as a people. And if we can't do it, then we're fucked. Because that's what everybody else does. That's why they get by. And we're not doing it, so we're not getting by. Last piece on this piece before I go to the last topic for the morning. Check it. Somebody said, you know why they call it the hood? I said, no, I don't know, because things go down in the hood. They're like, no, it's because there's nothing neighborly going on in our community anymore. And everybody realized that. So they just chop the neighbor part off of it and just call it the hood. Where you going? To the hood? Where you live? In the hood? People used to say in my neighborhood, my community. I'm watching this comment from Shay right now. There's no community anymore. There's no neighborhood anymore. The village mentality, Veronica Gale, is gone from us. That's by our doing. So done with the slavery thing. Take accountability. And until we can do that, don't depend on them to change the law for your benefits. Oh, too many of them are getting shot down, so we're going to have to adjust these laws and change these laws. Nah, it's working perfectly. Oh, a lot of them are getting shot down. It's working perfectly. You better find a way out. You better find a damn way out. That's what it is for us. Man, listen. So, other two stories that I wanted to touch on this morning, I will probably touch on a video by itself. Don't know if wifey is going to the gym. Babe, if you're watching, are you going to the gym? I try to buy some extra time, but if she is, she is. The beloved Jamaican nanny, who were among 4 that were killed in a U.S. plane crash. We could go on talking about that all morning right there, but I'm going to leave that and run into the last 2 topics. Where's that, babe? You're going? All right. So I will continue this video in 2 separate videos to come up after this, which will be the beloved Jamaican granny or nanny who was in that plane crash, which stay tuned for that video because I don't think that plane just crashed. And I'll explain to you why. And the other one will be Bob Marley's son and that lawsuit that's against them. We'll talk about that one as well. We're going to leave it right here for the morning. Shout out to everybody tuned in. I appreciate you greatly. Thank you. And God spare my life. Like my granny said, I'll see you tomorrow morning right here on Morning Thoughts. Bless up. Walk good. I'm out. Peace. Hi, pretty. Want to say bye-bye? Bye. She got on her bonnet. See, I got a little black girl magic going on. I got to take care of my braids. Say bye. Bye.
So it looked like one of the Black Panther people that we saw.